The exclusionary rule is a rule that the Supreme Court has developed out of the Fourth Amendment, which forbids unreasonable searches and seizures. The Supreme Court has said that if the police violate that constitutional right in investigating a crime, then some of the evidence that they discover may have to be excluded in court. While the exclusionary rule seems to exclude all illegally seized evidence, in fact, there are many exceptions to the rule, which lead some to wonder whether it is still serving the purpose that it was originally designed to serve. One of the most important exceptions to the exclusionary rule is the good faith exception. That's an exception that says if police officers were acting in good faith while they were conducting a search, even if it later turns out that that search was illegal, the evidence can still be used. The theory is that if the police officers were acting in good faith, there's nothing to deter, and therefore the evidence should not be excluded. One of the exceptions to the exclusionary rule is known as the independent source exception. The basic idea is that if evidence was obtained by the police through two ways, one being an illegal search and another way through some sort of independent source, maybe a separate search, then the evidence really cannot be viewed as having been tainted by the illegal search, and the evidence should come into court. There is an exception to the exclusionary rule for inevitable discovery. The basic idea there is that if police were going to discover the evidence inevitably, it doesn't make a difference that they came upon the evidence more quickly by means of an illegal search. Indeed, the idea is it would reward the criminal if that evidence were excluded if police were inevitably going to find it in a lawful way. Another exception to the exclusionary rule is the attenuation doctrine. Sometimes the connection between the illegal search and the evidence discovered becomes so attenuated that it really wouldn't serve any purpose to exclude the evidence. Instead, there has to be a fairly direct connection between the illegal search and the evidence discovered in order for the evidence to be suppressed under the exclusionary rule. Another exception to the exclusionary rule is the impeachment exception. The basic idea here is just because police have done something illegal and obtained evidence illegally, that shouldn't allow a defendant to take the stand and perjure himself. So, for example, if police discover a lot of illegal drugs on a defendant and that evidence is excluded under the exclusionary rule, if he tries to take the stand and say, "I've never seen any illegal drugs anywhere," the prosecution would then be entitled to impeach him with the illegally seized evidence.